Hello, everybody. It is Tuesday, and today we're practicing the law of karma, cause and effect. Week 4. We're starting week 4. How cool is that? This is my favorite law, one of my favorite laws. This is the law that I feel like empowers us all. This is the law that gives us the opportunity to co-create by paying attention, by being consciously aware of the choices that we're making and how they are producing results in our life, and are they producing the results that we desire? If not, we have the opportunity to shuffle our feet, make some changes, give consideration to what took place, and make course corrections as required so we don't repeat those mistakes. That's what I like most about this law. And I give a lot of consideration to the events and things that happen in my life. And since I want to repeat favorable experiences and not repeat unfavorable experiences, I spend a lot of time contemplating, giving consideration to where I am, what I've put in motion, what I've experienced back, how I'm going to shuffle my feet, and how I'm going to improve the result the next time by improving the choices and decisions that I'm making the next time I have the opportunity to make them. The chakra that is associated with today's practice, if you remember from last week, is the root chakra. That chakra is located at the base of our spine. The color of this chakra is ruby red. And today we're introducing the bija, or the mantra, that's associated with this chakra. If you remember from last week, that this root chakra is responsible for helping to keep us stable, helping to keep us flexible, helping to help us transform our results and our experiences by changing our decisions. This is the chakra that's responsible for keeping us whole. So if we're having blockages, let's just say, or we are not receiving or achieving results that we want to achieve, there's a very high probability that we could be blocked in this chakra, which means that maybe we're feeling stuck. Maybe we're feeling very rigid. We're holding on to the way that we think it should be instead of trying something new. Maybe we're feeling a little unstable with what's happening around us. Maybe we're experiencing a lot of turbulence in our life. If that's the case, then it's very possible that we need to open and rebalance our root chakra. And the bija, or the mantra, that is associated with today's chakra is Lam. That's the mantra, Lam. So if you have an opportunity today, repeat to yourself the word Lam several times if you can when you think about it, because this will help us to heal, help us to activate, help us to energize the root chakra, especially if we're feeling unstable and rigid and less than what we'd like to be feeling. Okay, so I wanted to also just share with you that I specifically asked this question about the chakras when I attended this Seduction of Spirit retreat with Deepak Chopra. I asked this question of Deepak Chopra himself. And the question was, if we are stuck in our life, and we are giving attention to the different chakras, the energy centers, the energy fields in our life, and we're not experiencing the results that we want to experience, is that an indicator that we have a blockage in one of these chakras? And by simply repeating the mantra, does it really help us to open these chakras and activate them so that we get better results? His response to me was short and yet definitive, and it was yes. Okay, so this is coming from Deepak Chopra himself. So when we do understand the different energy fields that are running through our body and paying attention, remember yesterday I asked you to pay attention this week, all week, to how we're feeling, paying attention to our internal navigation system, using our emotions to help us identify where we are, because that's going to tell us if we require a course correction or if we're on the right path. So paying attention to the sensations that we're feeling today based on the results that we're experiencing, which are a direct result from what we've put out there. Remember the ebb and flow of the tide. That's what we are experiencing today. So if there's any unpleasant sensations that we're feeling, we want to honor them. We know that we could be potentially stuck or have some blockages in our root chakra. So the word again is Lam. Now, I just want to give you a quick story because everything that I'm sharing with you today, even though I practice my spirituality and my laws, and I am highly aware, I'm still human, and I still find myself sometimes struggling in certain areas. Well, over the weekend, I have a great story to share over cause and effect. That relates specifically to overriding what we talked about last week. If you remember, we talked about yellow lights, right? Indicators, inclination. Should I do something? Should I not do something? I completely overrode one. I had one. I was going to go to get a manicure this weekend, and the girl that normally does my nails was out on vacation, and I really needed a manicure, so I had to go to plan B. And I went to another salon that I usually go to get a pedicure. And the last time I had a pedicure there, I didn't have a good experience. I had a new girl, and she just didn't do it the way that I wanted to do it, that I'd like it done. And anyway, so here I go. I'm going to go back to this place now for a manicure. And as I'm leaving my home, I have this thought. And this thought is, what if I get the same girl? I didn't have a good experience with a pedicure, probably not going to have a good experience with a manicure. And yet I dismissed it. I overrode it. Okay, it was a yellow light right there. I overrode it, and I said to myself, what are the odds? What are the odds that I'm going to get the same girl? Maybe she's not going to be there today. The chances are slim to zero. So I walk into the place. I tell them I want to get a manicure, and they call over, guess who? This girl. I could feel the anxiety surge through my body the moment that I realized that I'm going to now have this girl do my manicure, when I know that I didn't enjoy the experience with this girl when she did my pedicure. Now, instead of honoring how I'm feeling and making a different choice by either saying, can I have somebody else, or explaining what I really want, I chose to sacrifice myself because I didn't want to hurt her feelings and I didn't want to address it at that moment. So I actually sat down and had a manicure with her. The entire time, I did not enjoy the experience. I felt the anxiety running through my body. I had to coach myself to breathe, to breathe. I was silently saying to myself, breathe, relax. I'm trying to give her little tips to make this more of a pleasant experience, and yet it wasn't working. And I kept thinking to myself, I chose this. I chose this because I didn't say something. I could have made a different decision. I could have said no, and instead I made the decision to torture myself, and I felt like it was an endless manicure. I felt like, oh my God, am I ever going to get out of here? And this is how I felt. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm never coming back here. Like, all of these emotions, all of these sensations I'm feeling, I'm still consciously trying to coach myself down off the ledge so I can have some kind of a pleasant experience, and yet failing miserably because the sensations that I'm feeling are so overwhelming, so caught up in the emotion, so disappointed in the fact that I overrode my yellow light, so disappointed that I still am not saying anything or doing something different so that I am not sacrificing myself, and yet went through this process all on my own volition because I chose all of this. Well, when I had an opportunity later to reflect on it, I said to myself, I'm never going to go back. I'm just never going to go back. And I said, no, that's not what I'm going to do. I will go back. And the next time when I go back, I will have separated myself. I will be prepared. I will have a conversation with the person that assigns a technician to me and share with them exactly what it is that I'm looking for in my experience to make sure that they have somebody on their team that will be a good match for me. That will be the way that I will handle it in the future. And because of my experience, because it was so unfavorable to me, and because I took the time to reflect on it and think about how I could have handled it better, now that I was separated from the emotion that I was experiencing in the moment, I have another plan. And I will never repeat that experience again in my life. So I'm sharing this with you to let you know that even as much as I practice, as much as I give, as much of the attention in my life that I give to these spiritual laws, these practices, my level of awareness, we still have foibles as human beings. We all will experience it. We will all experience disturbances, turbulence, things that aren't going to work out the way that we want them to. The value in this practice is the ability to reflect back on it, reflect back on the results that we've received and make different choices as a result of it. So think about that today. Practice the law of cause and effect, the law of karma, by being consciously aware of the decisions you're choosing. If you experience turbulence, if you're experiencing disturbances, paying attention, because we're paying attention to our internal navigation system, try to move through it and then give reflection to it after to see what decisions that you can make that would be different, that would cause a different result or produce a different result going forward. Keeping in mind the root chakra, keeping in mind the color of ruby red, keeping in mind that if we're feeling unstuck or unstable or rigid today, repeating to ourselves the mantra LAM. LAM. And you'll remember that because it begins with L and the root chakra is closest to our legs. LAM. Okay? Have a great day today. I wish you an extraordinary day, an extraordinary practice, and we'll see you tomorrow.